The tree of life is a universal symbol found in many spiritual traditions around the world. It expresses life itself with its branches reaching for the heavens towards our Father the Sun, and it buries its roots to link us to our Mother the Earth. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Blessed Lord said, "There is a banyan tree which has its roots upward and it branches down, and whose leaves are the Vedic hymns. One who knows this tree is the knower of the Vedas." But what does it really mean? As Sri Mataji evokes the Bhagavad Gita, she says, Sri Krishna has said that the tree of awareness grows upside down, that the roots are in the brain and the branches grow downwards. Those who have gone towards materialism have grown downwards. Those who have gone towards the divine have grown upwards towards the roots. Below and above, in the chapter 15 of the Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna says, "Below and above are spread its branches nourished by the gunas. Sense objects are its buds, and below in the world of man stretch forth the roots originating in action." A blessed tree, an olive, neither of the east or west, whose oil is well nigh luminous, though fire scarce touch it. To ensure our growth, we must learn how to absorb vibration. Our tree grows by absorption of ambient energy. Absorption is the only way for us to grow, and the tree allows us to absorb in sustaining our evolution upwards, as is expressed also in the Lord of the Ring, where the expression of purity, the Lady Galadriel, lives on the top of a tree. We are the tree, and this is why the symbol of the tree is so meaningful, because the holy tree of life that grows by absorbing vibrations through the limbic area need to manifest its potential within us. So how does it work? A normal tree is fed by the energy of the sun that is absorbed through the branches and the leaves, while the energy of the earth is absorbed by the roots. The branches and the leaves correspond in our mental and psychological setup to karma yoga, which is the world of action and thoughts through which we foster our horizontal growth, while antar yoga, that is the yoga of knowledge and the yoga of devotion by opposition to the yoga of action, is the inner yoga that allows the vertical growth through which we root out ourselves in reality in such a manner that we have the strength to support karma yoga, that is the growth outside. Now, how do we link the magic tree to our daily life? Let us take the case of the Homo sapiens triangle to illustrate how the inner yoga and the outside yoga marry, or on the contrary, do not complement each other, which is the case of Homo sapiens, who cannot rely on the inner yoga. So, in this triangle, I am myself at the pole A of the triangle, and I face a challenge under B, which in this case is related to my profession, as illustrated in the image of the office, but it could be a problem with my health, with relationships, or problems with money. This interaction between me and the problem create a reaction. And within action and reaction, as I try to solve this outside challenge, I enter reactivity, the world of bipolarity and contradiction, which breed confusion, so I have a double loss. I lose my inner serenity because the challenge disturbs me, and at the same time the challenge remains absolutely intact in the outside world because I'm not always able to solve it. The pole C of the triangle is dormant and non-activated. This is why I cannot escape the bipolarity. Now, in the magic triangle, the difference is that the pole C of the triangle is activated by the awakening of the inner yoga, which then complement the outside action of karma yoga. Therefore, let us take again this example, A and B. I am still stuck with a problem. The problem exists, but this time, instead of trying to solve the problem by the outside process of action and reaction, which get me stuck into bipolarity, I go to pole C, which is a meditative process where I master my entire inner power. This is my first win because I'm no longer disturbed by the problem, although the problem always exists, but it does not disturb me. Now, because of the capacity to access the pole C, I actually enter in contact with the Maha computer, with a great power that regulates our universe, what we call the Param Chaitanya. And therefore, it might well be, although it is not always the case, but often we experience that this connectivity has an impact also in the outside world, and the problem happened to be solved. Like, for instance, I'm in conflict with my boss, I cannot solve it, but my boss receives a promotion and leaves, and my problem is solved without any merits on my part. It is just solved. Then I get my second win, because first, I have joined the inner serenity of myself in the inner yoga, but secondly, my second win allow me to overcome a problem outside through the operation of the Param Chaitanya, which responds to the capacity of the inner yoga to access that power. And so this is what is expressed here, that sometime it may be also that the Param Chaitanya and its response acts through me. That means I need to do or not to do something. In other words, it is not good enough always to abstain to act. Sometimes our action is part of the greater scheme of things, and we must act as in the Bhagavad Gita on the Kurukshetra, where, for instance, Arjuna didn't want to fight because he loved the people on the other side, but his destiny was to fight. And in that case, he had to act. We are sometimes in that situation where we access the pole C, but the response of C also flows to something that A needs to do and achieve. Now, the culmination of this process is the integration in the limbic area of the brain, because this is where the integration between our yogas, the inner yoga and the outside yoga, the Anta yoga and the Karma yoga integrate in connectivity with the Param Chaitanya. And this relates to one of the most powerful myths of the West, and this is the myth of the Holy Grail. The myth of the Holy Grail is that this mystical cup contains the blood of Christ that Joseph of Arimathea collected on the Golgotha when Christ was crucified and a soldier pierced his heart. But the symbolism of the Grail is that it contains an energy of total holiness and purity, which is also the elixir of the greatest beatitude that is possible, what in Sanskrit is called Amrut, or in Latin Ambrosia. And for this elixir of bliss, gods and demons fought in the ancient legends of India, which are illustrated, for instance, at the entrance gate of Angkor Wat in Cambodia, where one can see on one hand the demons and on the other side of the entrance the gods lined up in order to receive the Grail of Ambrosia that was called Soma. Now, through the teachings of our Guru Sri Mataji Nirmala Devi, we understand now the relationship with our psychosomatic system, because the cup of the Grail is actually the limbic area of our brain. And when this cup is turned and our inner system is activated with enough power and full effectiveness, then from the limbic area of the brain flows this stream of beatitude, which was described by all the great mystics and saints who had achieved the experience of Amrut. And therefore, there is a direct connection between the Western myth of the Holy Grail and the most ancient teachings of Indian spirituality. So we are the gardener and we are the tree. We need to look after ourselves, the growth of our own plant, and when we can do that, then maybe we will also be able to help others. Helping ourselves first is what the old wisdom of our grandmothers was reminding us of when they used to tell us, help yourself and heavens will help next. Bye.